Hello, fiber friends. Welcome to another episode of the Knit, Knot, and Weave podcast. My name is Dorothy, and I am your host. This is my little corner of the YouTube where I share my journey through fiber, mostly knitting, crocheting, weaving, yarn dyeing, and that's about it. What's today? Wednesday, December 20th. I am a little bit late with my last episode of Vlogmas. I had every intention of recording while I was in New York for the holidays, but we had an unexpected family emergency on Saturday, and I simply could not record. And then the festivities started, and when I'm home with family, I'm with them 24/7, so it's kind of hard to get away and record. But anyway, I am here. Welcome to all of you that have been following me for Vlogmas this year, and welcome to all of my returning viewers. And if you are new, welcome to the crazy. I'm just sitting here enjoying a cup of hot cocoa this morning. I've already had my coffee to wake up. But I wanted to share the last of my Vlogmases with you, and then I will catch you up on where I am with some current whips. Not very many, because I've been working on Christmas gifts. And so I guess I will just share the rest of Vlogmas with you now and then get back. Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed the last of my Vlogmas. And again, I apologize. I had every intention of getting it up before Christmas, but like I said, we had a family emergency. Saturday, we found out that one of my brother-in-law's aunts had been missing. And thankfully, she has been found. But it was a very stressful several hours while we figured out, well, we didn't figure out what happened. I'm still not sure what happened. But she had been missing for apparently several days, and my brother-in-law didn't find out about it until Saturday morning. And so he was out, trying to retrace her last steps over the last few days to see if maybe him and his sister could find her. And then his wife, my sister, was trying to contact people. So I went over to just sort of not really watch the kids because they're old enough. They're 8 and 15. But, just to have an adult around in case they, I'm sure, had their own anxieties. And so that was like really my only free day to get ahead with the recording, and that didn't happen. Luckily, the police did find her. My brother-in-law's mother did report her missing and put in a missing persons report. And apparently, I didn't realize this, but when a report like that happens, or I'm guessing any type of report with a car, where they know the license plate to them, there are, I guess, like little scanners at the end, on the hoods of police cars, and they just randomly scan license plates as they're driving by. And if one happens to scan and hit something that's in the database, it gives the officer in the car notice, and that's what happened. He drove by my brother-in-law's aunt, and the license plate got scanned and it pinged, and so he had to turn around. And she has some confusion issues, and so they brought her to the hospital and they checked her out, and physically they didn't see anything wrong with her. But like I said, she's in her upper 70s, and I think she is having some memory and confusion issues. Not that she's been diagnosed with full-blown dementia or anything like that, but so she will be in the hospital Saturday, I guess, for 3 or 4 days just for evaluative purposes. I guess that's normal procedure in New York when the police find someone who's been turned in as a missing persons report and has confusion issues. So, anywho, she has been found, so that was a relief to us all. Saturday night, we had a family cocktail hour at my cousin's house with I could speak this morning. My mother's whole side of the family, with the exception of one uncle who currently lives in Italy. And that was a lot of fun. We got to see them and their little kids, and it was very enjoyable. Lovely meals, good wine. And then Christmas Eve, it was a very relaxing day. We made, I was working on my niece's sweater all day, and my sister and mom made some homemade lasagna so that we could have that for Christmas. And then Christmas Eve, we went to a restaurant in New York for dinner, and that was very nice. In my 53 years, that was the first time we went out for Christmas Eve. We didn't want my mom cooking all the fish, and my sister was already doing Christmas dinner, so I called around and made some inquiries and got a reservation at a restaurant that my sister and mom really like. So the food was absolutely delicious. The service was good, but it was slow because, well, due to the pandemic, a lot of restaurants are having this issues where they just don't have enough wait staff to support the businesses. And so you have to be patient. And there was a lot of large crowds, so it was going a little bit slower. And in our opinion, the restaurant had too many options on the menu for such a busy night that was going to have such a large, not just a large crowd, but large tables, because whole families go out. And so our room had about 6 tables that probably had a minimum 10 people at each table. I mean, our party was 11, and that was just my immediate family. So it was very, very yummy. You could tell that all the different fish dishes we got, we tried each other's dishes as usual, and everything was just delicious from the appetizers that we had all the way through. We were all stuffed, so we did not have dessert. We went back to my mom's house and had some dessert there, since we had so many home-baked goods. And then Christmas morning, we woke up. We went to my sister's house where we opened all the gifts, and she's got the little ones. And my nieces absolutely love their sweaters. And the rest of my family really enjoyed their socks. My one brother-in-law, who is, honestly, everyone in my family is knit worthy, but for people who didn't grow up with my grandmother in their lives and, wasn't used to getting homemade items over the years, my brother-in-laws are really appreciative of everything that I make them. And when he opened up his socks, my brother-in-law in New York immediately put them on and was like, yes, they fit great. And I was just like, whew, since I was making all of them from their shoe size and from a chart for measurements and stuff, because the only foot I actually got to measure was my dad's. So everybody enjoyed their socks. My sister is actually going to try a pair. I had her try on a sleeve that I had left that was from a men's sock, which is 72 inches around, because she has a very, very high arch. So she always feels like the socks are, I guess, like store-bought socks, you really can't modify, and they weren't made for someone with such a high arch. So she doesn't really wear socks. I was going to make her a pair of yoga socks, but I ran out of time. But at least I'll get them done maybe before La Befana. And for those of you that are not Italian and don't know, La Befana is basically Little Christmas, the Epiphany. It's in our tradition, it's La Befana. It's the witch who comes around, and because she missed the opportunity to assist with the baby Jesus, she goes around and leaves just little gifts for all the children she comes across. And that is January 7th. So I will have her socks finished by then. And I guess I will just catch you up on what I finished. So I can't share my niece's sweater with you because she has it, but I will put a picture of it right here. And as you can see, I went through all the different colors in the sweater. I did go down when I got to the eyelet areas in the sleeves and in the body. I did go down 2 needle sizes, so I went from a 7 to a 9, which is a 7 is a 4.5 millimeter and a 9 is a 5.5 millimeter, I believe. And that worked out really well. I completed the sleeve. Once I split for the sleeves and I was getting ready to start the white portion in the body, I decided I would go ahead and make the sleeves first so that I didn't have all that weight to turn back and forth. And I did knit my sleeves 2 at a time. So I got a really long cord. I had to actually buy a 50-inch cord for my Chow Goose to do the sleeves 2 at a time. And I followed the picture as best as I can in regards to the colors, and that worked out. At the end of the sleeves, I did do a tubular bind off, so it has a nice finished edge. And then I went back to the body of the sweater and completed it according to the picture, but it was not long enough. So I added a few more rows in the different colors just to sort of continue on and get the color work done. And then I went back to the Ankh green, and I used the Ankh green around the collar and the two cuffs, and then the basically the hem of the sweater. And I did the same thing. I did a tubular bind off, and she absolutely loves it. She wasted no time in taking a picture and sharing it with all of her friends on Snapchat. Apparently they were snapping their gifts and sharing their stories back and forth with all their friends that day. I guess that's the new thing. And then the little niece, my little Priya, she loved her purple sweater. She was very happy with it. She loves the color. And Ella loved the sweater I made her, which was the first version of the bean and olive sweater. And my cousin sent me a picture of her wearing it. She said that was her request the day after Christmas to wear that sweater. So here's a picture of my cousin's little girl in her Christmas sweater. Excuse me. And then, yeah, and so that was it for my Christmas knitting. Everybody enjoyed their socks. Everybody but me and my older sister got a pair of socks. I unfortunately did not manage to get a family sock picture, but hopefully next year. We'll see. Whatever. You know, they got their gift. So I made 9 pairs of socks for the family. And I had 1 skein of this burgundy-ish red from, I think it was Opal yarn, and 1 skein of this evergreen. And this is all that's left after 9 pairs of socks. So luckily I do have another skein of each so that I can do my sister's socks. And let's see, where's my sister's sock? I may as well show that to you guys while we're here. Here's the tube that I'm going to be using for her sock, and I've already got the cut line in. So this will be a pair of socks for her. They're going to be shorties. And then I have these, the remaining tubes from these two, which are going to be the turned into a pair of socks for my cousin's partner. He is in Mexico and will not be back till, I think, the 5th. So I'll have to get started on these as well. And then basically the only other work in progress that I did this week was my Woolens and Nosh Seconds Advent socks. So let me 2, 4, 6. I am on color 17. This is not her official Advent sock. This was a seconds that I was able to get after the fact. But I will put this on my calendar to make sure I get a pair for next year. But I like this yarn. It's a bit thicker than the normal merino nylon. So I think it's the Tarhi, 90% Tarhi, 10% nylon base. So it's going to wear very nicely. Really like these. And then that is all I've been working on. So lastly, I'm just going to show you the 2 full skeins from the Advents. So this one is from Super Glow Fiber. Does it have a name on here? Nope, she didn't name her full skein. But that's that. All of hers were nice and bright, and I will pan the the whole advents of the two. And then the other one was from my words, Dorothy, the combination of Yarn Cafe Creations and Dragon Horde yarn. And I got the Gryffindor colorway from Yarn Cafe Creations as my full skein, which is just coming out a little bit more pinky, but it's really more browny mauve-y. And that is all I have for you guys. So that has been my Vlogmas for this year. I have enjoyed the 2 advents that I received. I enjoyed the wine advent that I got, which by the way is the Wall Street Journal wine advent. It popped up on my feed. It's the same wine advent that I did last year, but the wines were different this year. I think some of them may have been repeats, but there were definitely some new ones. And that is all I have. I will not be podcasting this coming weekend. I have the week off of work, and I will be doing some straightening up and continuing with the decluttering of my house. I will be probably, oops, sorry, didn't mean to hit that. I will probably be figuring out maybe what some of my fiber goals are going to be for next year. If you have any fiber goals for next year, put them in the comments below. I'd love to hear what other people are thinking of for the upcoming year. I know one of my goals is definitely going to be to create more from my stash, to use more from my stash. I know as I was going through my spare room and putting some yarns away, I found several quantities of sweaters worth. Several sweaters. What am I trying to say? Several bags of yarn that are in sweater quantity. Does that sound right? Anyway, I think you guys know what I mean. So I'm definitely going to be looking into knitting some more sweaters for the upcoming year. I do need to go through all my stash, and I know I want to start with my fingering weight. I want to get that organized, and I really want to get it separated and put all of the fingering weight yarn that is actual sock yarn, and to me sock yarn is yarn that has nylon in it, into one bin, and then all the remaining fingering weight, which is non-nylon yarns, into another bin to see what I have to make either sweaters or shawls or other items with it. Maybe do some destashing as well. Definitely have way too much yarn. Does that mean I'm going on a yarn diet? No. No, I know myself. If I attempt to sit here and say I'm not going to buy any more yarn, I know that January 1st I'll be online buying yarn. That, crazy psychology of things. Anyway, but I am going to try, when I have a pattern that I want to make for either myself or as a gift, to make sure I go through and shop my stash first to see what I have to create it, and then go from there. I think that's it. So my first episode for 2024 will be my goals for the year, maybe some upcoming knitting. I haven't decided if I'm going to do the Make 9 board again that oh, what's her name? Is it Amy from Noble Character Crafts? No. can't think of her name. Gosh, I am so bad with names. I can remember a face, but I cannot remember names. Anywho. And so I close this episode wishing you all, hopefully you've all had, for those of you that celebrate, had a wonderful Merry Christmas. For those of you that are about to, or started, I guess I should say, celebrating Kwanzaa, may your Kwanzaa be blessed with hope, peace, and abundance. And I'm wishing you all a very, very happy New Year, and I will see you all in 2024. If you are going to celebrate New Year's Eve, please be safe, be cautious, look out for your neighbors. Love you guys. Ciao, ciao.